you like before. It's my desire for you to come and then never up more, baby more. Oh, oh. Hey, baby more. Oh, oh. Who wants to be my baby?
We're not here to question whether or not we should pay taxes, but here to converse on the way forward as an entertainment industry.
The Bible has taught us to give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
I'm willing to pay taxes. I've been paying taxes, but the government needs to use us to carry this message across. Then sit with us, understand the peculiar nature of our business.
As you can see tonight, we're actually concentrating on the entertainers because we know that they are ambassadors who go out there and they need to actually sing the song.
Somebody go. Hey, who wants to dance with me? Oh, oh, oh.
What's going on?
We're having fun.
Oh, yes, indeed. Taxation can be fun. Taxmen and women do have fun. Talk about having fun on the job. Those clips came from the Night of Glitz and Glamour that climaxed the annual tax week of the Lagos District Society of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, which was held between Tuesday the 9th and Thursday the 11th of January 2018. And as you can glean from those clips, the occasion attracted celebrities from all genres of entertainment and the arts.
The tax week began with a tax walk on Tuesday, followed by a visit to an orphanage on Wednesday. In the evening of Wednesday, there was a novelty match between ICANN Lagos Mainland District and Lagos District Society of the CITN.
On day 3, the Lagos District Society of the CITN decided to contribute its own quota to the ongoing Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme campaign with a symposium. Later in the evening, the LDS brought together leading lights in the taxation subsector in Nigeria with musicians, actors and actresses, comedians and comedians under one beautiful roof to rub minds on how to enthrone voluntary tax compliance amongst the operators of the entertainment industry and the entire Nigerian populace while using the entertainers as enablers. It was tagged a night of entertainment and tax, bridging the gap. Mrs. Oluwatoyin Campbell is the chairman of the Lagos District Society of the CITN.
To the best of my knowledge, today's gathering is the first of its kind, judging by the number of celebrities, tax experts, and government officials in this room. The essence is to have our celebrities under an atmosphere they are used to with all the glamour, to talk about tax, a subject that is as definite as death. Why the celebrities in the entertainment industry, you may want to ask? This is because this breed of society portrays the happenings to the world at large. There is therefore the need for them to be well enlightened so that they do not forget their civic responsibilities to their motherland.
Mrs. Campbell also threw the weight of her district behind the VAT campaign of the federal government.
How many in this room have declared and registered under the VATs? Unfortunately, the window for non-payment of interest closed on the 31st of December 2017, but you can still take advantage of non-payment of penalty and other incentives therein till the 31st of March 2018. My appeal to those standing on the fence is that you should take advantage of this window to come out clean before it finally ends on the 31st of March 2018.
I'm talking about throwing weight behind a worthy cause. The Lagos State Governor, Governor Akinwumi Ambode, was represented at the event by his Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Ashadi.
There was comedy, there was singing, and there was glamour.
Leading the tribe of taxmen and women at the occasion was the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Chairman, Joint Tax Board of Nigeria, and Chairman, African Tax Administration Forum, ATAF, Mr. Babatunde Fowler.
Entertainment accounts for 2.3% of Nigeria's GDP and is growing. And in saying that, that means that the tax revenue from that sector will equally be growing. We as tax administrators believe that without a growing industry, there'll be no tax. So basically, we do understand the issues in terms of them having their I'll call it their financials are put together formally. In terms of FIRS, we believe that we will do what is required to encourage this sector. And all over the nation, wherever they had programs during the festive period, we did give out information and also patronize them by also buying tables. But for those of you who understand and know the FIRS, you know that we will not put our money anywhere where taxes are not being paid. And this little presentation you saw not too long ago was actually done free of charge. They came together as entertainers, came up with that video, and also we played it at all the functions. We hereby request that anytime you are having a show, an event, just chip in a little reminder to all your audience that in building Nigeria, one sure way of doing it is by making sure that all citizens pay their taxes.
And of course, the chairman of the hosting tax authority, the Lagos Internal Revenue Service, Mr. Ayodele Subar, chipped in a word.
It is a known fact that growth in the Nigerian entertainment sector has been phenomenal in recent years. According to DLM research, Nigeria's media and entertainment industry is currently estimated to be worth over $4 billion and estimated to rise to about $9 billion in 2019. To sustain and improve on this growth, the government is expected to provide an enabling environment in the form of security of life and property, provision of energy, especially electricity at affordable rates, boosting tourism potentials, etc. The government needs to steady revenue to ensure provision of these amenities. One of such reliable and sure source of revenue to the government is tax. That is why this event, Entertainment and Tax, Bridging the Gap, the role of the Nigerian celebrities in future acceptable tax behavior is a very unique one.
Several papers were presented at the occasion to set the tone for the discussion from PMAN, from the Actors Guild of Nigeria, and from tax experts. But what we are going to be sharing with you on today's episode are the exchanges, the friendly family exchanges on the issues at hand.
The music industry, when the indices are showed, when the revenue is shown, about 10%, if even, actually comes to the people that are in the room. The actual entertainment industry is not in this room. It's in the telcos, it's in the ad agencies. That's where the money is. When I record my song, I invest the music, I shoot my movie, I pay the movie. 70% at source stops with the telco. Minus marketing cost, minus. So the real entertainment industry that should be taxed is not even in this room. That money is not with us. But sir, we're in a fight today. We want to pay our taxes. This month now, we're in a fight to get the 70-30 split reversed. And what I want to say is that as we hold ourselves accountable to pay tax, we ask the federal government and state government, as represented by the chairman of both organizations here, to stand with us.
There has to be a clear distinction, because this is my personal income tax. There has to be a clear distinction between a gospel artist and a secular artist, because there is no way in the world that our incomes are the same. A gospel artist in Nigeria lives by what you call a love offering or a honorarium. We don't deal with performance fees. No, we don't. We don't deal with performance fees. Sometimes you go and, for lack of a better description, as the Spirit leads with your full band, you end up looking for money from somewhere to deal with the expense of carrying your live band to that place. And these are real issues that we are dealing with here. And I live in Lagos. I love Lagos State. I am glad with what the present administration is doing. So I want to contribute my quota to helping the government do some more.
in view of all the problems that my people have highlighted, can we have a flat rate for actors 2,500 naira, for producers 5,000 naira? You know, there is something they did not mention. I want to tell you, even with the little that eventually comes to us, we spend not less than 60% of the little that comes to us to our writers, and they will leave billionaires. The area boys, they will stop us. We give the money out. Calculate, can we, is there any way they can deduct that from what we are supposed to pay? It is not possible. So please just try and give us a flat rate, and we will comply.
We created jobs that people did not know existed. We came out of school, we were unemployed, we created this industry. No one believed in us, not even our parents. No one believed that anything good would come out of entertainment and entertainers. Today, we have generated more jobs than even the federal government and the state governments put together. We engage young people who either way would have just been considered dropouts, whatever, well, the usually excluded group. We are the usually excluded group who have become the celebrated group of people. And the government wants money from us. Please, can somebody help us from around this table? Let them know that some of those funds you read about, they are not grants, so they are loans. Kunle Afolayan took 50 million naira loan to do a movie. I've taken a loan to do a movie. I don't know if they will not sell my mother to get the returns. Because I'm not sure that pirates will allow me get that loan back, make some profit. I'm willing to pay taxes. I've been paying taxes. But the government needs to use us to carry this message across. Then sit with us, understand the peculiar nature of our business, and see whether they will begin to pay taxes to us.
I think some of us are getting a bit emotional here. And it's getting to a point that it's not that we don't want to pay tax. It's not that we cannot afford to pay tax. We just don't feel like paying tax. That's what I seem to be hearing. And I just want to add a little bit of light. When you talk of getting a lot of release from your taxes, obviously when you want to pay corporate taxes, you get a lot of deductions from the cost of sales, or the cost of manufacturing, or whatever cost. But when you talk of personal income taxes, usually you're taxing the gross amount. So let us not confuse issues here. Unfortunately, there's no credible data, and for the entertainment industry, we don't get voluntary declarations. And if we do not get voluntary declarations and we don't find a middle ground for getting the basis for taxing, then we use what you call BOJ, best of judgment. And you and I know that in your industry, a lot of people live by perception. You're driving Bentley, you're wearing Rolex, and yet you say you don't have money. So the taxman has to resort to tactics like using lifestyle. What is your lifestyle? Falls is maybe driving a Rolls Royce, and then he declares that his income is 2 million. That doesn't reconcile. So we first charge him based on that Rolls Royce, and then we expect him to come back to us and give us evidence that he's only earning X amount. So what I would like to say here is that, first and foremost, we need to educate ourselves on taxation. It's very key for this industry. so that you understand the issues. And taxation really is based on earnings. It's not based on sentiment. It's not based on, I'm sending money to my mother in the village. No. If you earn 10,000 naira, then that's going to be the basis of that. If you decide to eat something light in Oriental every afternoon, then it's your preference. But you have to first settle government before you go and eat that something light.
These people are extremely brilliant. They are talking tax like professors of tax. Everybody has an obligation to pay, including those who are making so much and including those who are making little. Because those who are making little today may translate or transit to the upper class tomorrow. Now, I agree that there is need to develop sector-specific incentives. But this is not just going to come. There are incentives that cut across. Deductible expenses, if you keep record of what you spend. But if you desire some specific incentive, you have to come together as a block in order to make an advocacy for it. You may need an advisor. Then, if you keep records, Lancelot said, deduction here, home and abroad. If you keep record of all these deductions, at the end of the day, you may even be in a refund position. Because deductions are advance payment of taxes. Income tax is normally payable at the end of the year in March of the following year. But when you make money in January and tax is deducted, what it means is that if you calculate all the deduction, when your final tax position is determined, you can net off what has been deducted again, and you can actually be in a refund position. People believe this is not possible until they try it at the federal level and the payments were honored. So, should you deduct tax from people earning 30,000? Yes. There's what you call minimum tax, which is just 1% of the payment. If you don't do it, you are going to do it sometimes with interest and penalty. Because those who earn wages, even the NYSC are paying taxes. Casual workers are paying. And this should be one of the takeaways. And I'm pleading with you, get someone who will help you put your tax position in order.
We know, and society agrees generally, that it's important to pay tax. It's the lifeblood of government. Without it, we can't have a government. I think for entertainers and celebs in the room, one of the key takeaways you have to go home with today is that no matter how you tell your story, nobody is going to believe you until you start putting it into records. It's possible that many of the celebs and the entertainers don't have taxes to pay. They might even have refund from government, but they never filed returns. You need to tell government what you are doing, how much you've spent, how much money you've made, how difficult life is. And the voice of entertainers is a powerful voice. You can actually come together, mobilize resources, and get laws to be amended to be suitable for your industry. When the income tax law was enacted, we didn't have Nollywood. So it just makes sense that as things evolve, this industry must speak up for itself so that the issues can be addressed. We pray that this industry continues to grow and becomes global. If you don't pay taxes in Nigeria, you find that you may get into trouble easily abroad where they don't joke with tax matters. I have dealt with some of the celebs, and I know that even simple things like charging VAT, some of them don't. Now, VAT is not their own tax. It's the tax of the person that they are doing the service for. So we need to get to the level where we want to comply with the laws. And if we now don't like the laws, we must begin a process to get those laws amended.
I'll just quickly answer or make some comments to what Samuel Koso just told us. whether you are earning honorarium or you are earning 500 million, like some people decided to broadcast, either way, taxation is based on earnings. Whether it is 10,000 naira or 2 million naira. If you're earning 10,000, you cannot be taxed on 2 million. Also, just to rewind on my earlier statement that I made on BOJ, the best of judgment, yes, it's a bit scary, but why does the LRS send best of judgment notices? We send because taxpayers have failed to file their return. It is law that between 1st of January and 31st of March of each year, anybody paying taxes under direct assessment are expected to file a return. You're supposed to complete Form A. Form A has allowance for all types of incomes, employment income, rental income, all the various sources of income you're supposed to declare. Now, if you have filed between January and March, then there is no need for the revenue authorities to send out best of judgment notices. Between 1st of January and 31st of January, all employers of labor are expected to file their annual return. We have radio jingles, we have TV slots, newspaper almost every day in major newspapers, national dailies. You will see on our website it is announced. Social media, all the Twitter handles, we have adverts telling people to file their return. But a lot of taxpayers do not file that return. And the consequence of not filing is the best of judgment.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS calls on all corporate organizations operating in Nigeria to register for the purpose of payment of taxes and obtain a tax identification number TIN. All registered companies must obtain a tax identification number immediately from the nearest FIRS office. You can also collect and return tax registration forms from the Federal Inland Revenue Service Engagement and Enlightenment Tax Teams, FEET, on compliance checks exercise in your area. A company which is yet to commence business after at least 6 months of incorporation must pay a pre-operational levy of 20,000 naira in the first year and 25,000 naira for subsequent years to obtain its tax clearance certificate TCC. Note that filing and payment of VAT and withholding tax returns must be done on or before the 21st day of every month. Register for VAT. File all tax returns as and at when due. Be a responsible corporate citizen of Nigeria. It pays to pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service.
The exchanges continued.
Actors Guild of Nigeria, one of the things that has happened in our industry or in our association is that a lot of our members, when they work, for instance, the taxes are deducted from source. Some of our members, they claim that taxes have been deducted but are not remitted. And I think that we should meet again, to do something, about that. Finally here, a lot of our members don't work regularly. So if they work this month, next could be in another 2 months. And so we're saying, how do you tax them? Is there something like what the telecoms industry does, pay as you go? Because the awareness is there already. They are willing to pay their taxes, but we need to look at a proper structure where we can sit down to say, okay, these people, every time they pay, there is a structure, a plan, a system in place for them, to pay their taxes. So for Actors Guild of Nigeria, we're ready, to partner with you.
It was indeed a night to remember. Good crowd, good music, good entertainment, and frank family discussions.
So just like to appreciate all of you. The fact that we have all of them supporting our tax drive, supporting Nigeria to become a country where the level of tax compliance will hit the 90s in the very near future. I'd like to take you guys to send this message to all your colleagues. We appreciate you. We value you. We see you as our #1 export, no longer oil. And as you continue to grow, please send that message to all Nigerians that it's time that we support Nigeria through the payment of tax. Thank you for coming.
Entertainers are Nigeria's new export, not oil.
I agree.
Kudos to the Lagos District Society of the CITN. That was a very good show. And of course, as we told you in the introduction, the day's activities began earlier in the morning with a symposium on VATs. That we will bring to you in a subsequent episode of Tax Matters. We hope that you will join us next week on the same platform, same day of the week, same time of the day. It will be time for a fresh episode of Tax Matters. From Chiamaka,
Thank you for watching.
have a blessed week ahead.